I don't even know where to start, to be honest. You know, every day I speak to mothers, every single day, whether they're my friends or the women I work with, or they're my family members, or maybe even it's just a mum that I've been speaking to at the park. Every single day I speak to mothers, and every day I hear the same thing. Why did no one tell you it's going to be like this? I'm so exhausted. Like, I didn't think this is what motherhood would be like, right? And I get it. I've been there myself. I'm still in it. I've got 3 young kids. Like, I'm well and truly in the thick of early motherhood, and it is bullshit. I love to be a mum, and I know that you do too. You love nurturing your kids, cuddling your kids, looking after them, being with them. You love being a mother. What you don't like is motherhood, and they are completely different things. The structure in which we mother is bullshit. Motherhood tells us that we can do it all, be it all, have it all. We can give all of ourselves, all of the time, to everybody, to the point of depletion. And we should do that because that's what makes a good mother. That's what makes a good woman or a good wife or a good girl. And it is absolutely bullshit, because no one is thriving here. We feel like we are failing. We feel like we should be doing more. If I just work that little bit more, if I just get up that little bit earlier, if I just hustle that little bit more, maybe then someone will see me. The role of mother is insignificant in our culture, and that is bullshit, and that needs to change. We conveniently just bypass the fact that we are mothers, and we have just undergone the biggest transformation of our life, going from womanhood to motherhood. We're no longer the I, we are this collective we. When we transition into motherhood, we go through something called matrescence, and this changes every single thing about who we are. It is the becoming of who we were always meant to be. But within that, it changes us physically, mentally, emotionally, hormonally, socially, economically, spiritually. It changes our relationships. It changes our perspective. It changes our values. It changes the way that we see ourselves. And yet right now we see ourselves as a failure because we think everyone around us is doing so much better than what we are. Because we are expected to be everything, to do everything. And we can't keep going at that pace. This isn't how it was supposed to be. Now, here's the thing. I genuinely believe that we can have it all. I do. But only if we redefine what this season of our life looks like. If we keep bypassing the fact that we are a mother, and we keep going towards the same goals we've always done, and we keep chasing what the idea of success is, then we're going to feel burnt out. We have to acknowledge this first. Who are we now? What does life look like for us now? What is our capacity now? How do we see the world now? Because we're fucking different. Every single thing about us is different, and yet nobody acknowledges it. Even if you're working with a life coach, even when you go back to work, there's no acknowledgement, there's no talk. So who are you now? How do you feel now? It's just, here you go, here's life, go back to life like nothing ever happened. And yet we're just going, what the actual chuff is going on? I didn't know it was going to be like this. And that's because we have to acknowledge it. Conveniently, we just bypass it in our culture. And yet in many other cultures around the world, it is seen as this evolving of womanhood. And yet in our culture, it's almost like we diminish in value. Oh, you're no longer as sexy, you're no longer as fun, you're no longer as employable, you're no longer as available. Like, there's so many negative connotations that come with being a mother. Even the language around it. Failure to conceive, failure to progress, failure to latch, miscarriage. All of these things make us feel like we are failing, or our bodies are failing, in a culture that basically is failing us. And it has to stop. And I do genuinely believe that together we can change the way that we view and experience motherhood in a modern world. But we have to understand where we are first. We don't get to bypass this like it didn't happen. Because your thoughts matter. Your words matter. Your stories matter. Your experiences matter. You fucking matter. And yet we ourselves are just as guilty. Every time we say to ourselves, oh, I won't go and buy that dress, we're telling ourselves we don't deserve it just because we're not contributing financially to the home. Every time we really feel like we need a nap and to rest and we don't, we're telling ourselves that we're not worthy. We don't deserve it. We should be doing more all the time. and we can't keep going at this pace. We have to redefine what it means to be a good woman, what it means to be a good mother, what it means to be successful in this season of our life. And success might not be the big career anymore. It might not be the thousands or the millions of dollars in the bank. Maybe it's more time. Maybe it's more energy to be with the people that you love the most so they get the best out of you, not the worst out of you. Maybe it's to feel connection to yourself and to your family. Maybe it's to slow down. Maybe it's to find a hobby that nourishes and nurtures your soul without it having to be anything or go anywhere. We have to redefine what it means to be a mother in a modern world for ourselves so that our long-term health and well-being, we thrive in life, in love, in health and wealth. Because right now, we are not in any area of our life thriving. We are barely surviving. And so it is my mission. It is my absolute mission. And honestly, I'll be honest, this is not work that I thought I was going to be doing. This is work that's come through me, through my own mess of motherhood, right? But I know that we can do it. I know that we can change the way that we experience each and every day. But I know that in order to do that, we have to first acknowledge where we are, where we've been, where we're going, what it all means for us. What are our values? What are our beliefs around being a good wife or being a good partner or being a good mother? Do we even believe it? Or are they just what we've inherited from our upbringing, from our previous generations, from our culture, from our society? If we don't know that, how do we know how to set boundaries? How do we know what we're working towards if we don't know what our values are anymore? The quickest way to burnout is to not live in alignment with your boundaries and with your values. The quickest way to burnout is to continually give all of yourself to the point of absolute depletion. The quickest way to a marriage breakdown is complete disconnect because you've got nothing else to do because you're carrying the weight and the load of everything, mentally, physically, and emotionally. So if we want to see changes, if we want to enjoy this season of our life, then we have to acknowledge where we're at. How do we feel in this season? What do we want out of this season? How do we want to feel? How do we want to experience this season? And the only people, the only ones that get to redefine this is us, the mothers. Everything starts with the mother. We are the very thing that creates life. The only way to this planet is through us. If that does not blow your fucking mind, then I don't know what will, because it still blows my mind every day, and I think I say it every day. So we have to be the ones to advocate for ourselves first. When we can heal our relationship with what this season of our life looks like, we can have conversations and we have the language and the acknowledgement and the support. We feel safe to explore what this means for us now. And that is my mission, to give you the language, to give you the understanding, to give you the acknowledgement, to give you the support, and to give you a sense of safety so you get to redefine what this means for you and for your family so that you all thrive in life and in love and health and wealth. We have to rise together. This is what it means now. To rise is a true act of rebellion. It's not about screaming and shouting and setting things on fire. The truest act of rebellion is to first and foremost come back to self, to see yourself, to value yourself, so that you can then give from a place of overflow and thrive and be energetic and be vital and abundant and loving and giving from a place of overflow, to be abundantly healthy and wealthy, to be abundant in your relationships. That's really the true act of rebellion now, because so few of us are doing it. And that's what I want for each and every one of you. So come and join me, come figure out what I'm doing, because right now I don't always know what I'm doing, but I'm fucking here for it, and I'm here for you, and I needed to get that off my chest. So come along for the ride, guys. Shit's about to get real.